added that. Okay, I'll get started. Hello and welcome to the iDaph podcast. I'm Allison Capps. I work with iDaph on graphics and marketing, and I have with me today Daphne Kirkwood, the owner of iDaph and our race director.
Hello.
Daphne, the fall is coming quickly, and the weather outside today is crisp and the air is nice, and I'm just so excited about all these fall races that are around the corner for us. We've been working hard on lots of stuff coming up, but today we're going to talk about the Asheville Off-Road Series presented by Hunter Subaru. That's next Sunday, September 19th, and we are having it at Ride Kanuga in Hendersonville. We're so thankful for them and just getting to be able to hold this event this year. We weren't able to hold it last year, so we're just really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be able to do this one again. It's fun to have just a race that's for people that love dirt and to ride on dirt and run on dirt. And, I love cycling and running, both of them. And so being able to have an event that's just focused around those two disciplines and doing it off-road in the fall it's just perfect. So excited to be able to do it again.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be a beautiful weekend for it. So anyways, the race is at a new property at Ride Kanuga. So does it take place on their campus or just around Hendersonville? Give us the layout there.
Yeah. So Ride Kanuga is a bike park. If people haven't been there before, it's right near the Kanuga Conference Center. And also there's a Camp Kanuga too, a summer camp. So there's a couple things happening in that area. It's all off Kanuga Road. So Kanuga Bike Park is more geared towards mountain biking and trick style biking and that's downhill. So that's not really the best spot for our gravel grinder folks to go.
Okay.
And so the trails for the trail run, the 5-mile trail run and the duathlon run is going to go on some of their flowy single track, but it goes on both sides of Kanuga Road on single track. So the runs will use part of their bike park just a little bit. But the gravel grinder bike events will all be on Kanuga Road and then in Henderson County on gravel and dirt roads.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And so it's not, and also, we've had this event at Biltmore Estate for years, and because, they weren't permitting anything this year, we're not having it there. And that's part of the reason we moved it. And so Biltmore is closed to the public, it's private property. And so everything was sort of at a standstill during the event where the roads were closed down to traffic and, there wasn't a lot of movement happening during the race, especially till later in the morning, early afternoon. And for this event, it's on public property, and public roads. And so unfortunately the roads aren't closed to traffic and stuff. So that is a difference for sure.
Okay. That's good to know too, to just note that in your head and think about that as we go ahead and talk about the rest of the events.
Yeah.
And Ride Kanuga has been super generous that they have offered a 25% discount to youth and adult day passes. When you get a ticket, you just get a ticket online?
Yeah, so there will be a coupon in the goodie bags that Hunter Subaru is providing. And so they can, use that when they get it. The bike park's actually going to be closed while we're there. They're shutting all the property down on Saturday and Sunday, I believe. So those passes will have to be used at a different time, but they can use code AORS, Asheville Off-Road Series, AORS 2021 on their website, and it'll give them 25% off. So it's definitely something to check out. If you're coming on vacation next week here, you can use it. If you have a bike, that will work out there at the park. They also have bike rentals too. They have e-bike rentals as well. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So it's just a really cool spot. And so, definitely check it out if you haven't. And if you have, then now you have a 25% off code to go.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready to get into some nitty gritty about this
Yes.
race?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. What time do the races start?
Yeah. So the bike gravel grinder events, the 13, 25, and 42 are all going to start at 8:00. The trail run and the duathlon, because the duathlon has the run that starts first, will start a few minutes after the 8:00 start time for the gravel grinder. So I know people have been asking, what time, and I'm a little hesitant to say 8:05 or 8:07, because really you just need to be there at the start line and just behind the bikers, the cyclists, because we're going to start you as soon as they go. Okay. And so, it might be 8:02, it might be 8:03, but it's going to be close to 8:00.
Okay. So just say 8:00, be prepared to be at the start line at 8 a.m. regardless of what event you're doing.
Yes.
Runners will start after bikers.
Exactly. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So we normally have a charity partner for each of our events, which is an awesome way that we're able to give back to the community. And I love seeing each charity partner. So who will it be for the Asheville Off-Road Series for 2021?
Yeah. So we have St. Baldrick's. They are in the business of conquering childhood cancer. They have a location in Brevard, so right next door to where this event's being held, and they work very closely with children's cancer hospitals and kids with cancer, and so we feel passionate about that, and so that's our partner this year. And so you'll see lots of their volunteers out on the course, and say hello to them. And you can also give donations when you register online as well. So, and just a note about volunteers while we're talking about that, we will have volunteers out on the course, but they're not going to be at every single turn.
Okay.
Because there's 5 events happening at one time. There's going to be lots of signs and markings and stuff like that in prominent locations. We will also have police and sheriffs and volunteer police. But it's going to be really important for people to look at signs and not be dependent on people to tell them where to go. So I just wanted to mention that too.
Okay, good to know. So let's talk about what people can expect on race weekend and about packet pickup and registration for this event. How are we doing packet pickup and things?
Yeah, well, we offered something new this year. We've been doing it, I guess, since COVID started last year.
Yeah.
And where we mail out people stuff if they select that during online registration. And so it's been really convenient. People have been loving it. And at least 35% of the folks have opted in for that for this event. So they'll have their stuff in the mail. We'll be shipping it out on Monday, is that 13th or 14th? Monday.
13th.
The 13th. So we'll ship that stuff out. And you'll have your number already and your goodies, your shirt. If you want a goodie bag, you will have to pick that up at the race. We're not going to ship those, but you'll have that. But I would just say, folks who are already registered, come about an hour or so before your start time, and come over to packet pickup and registration. And that's going to be right at the Ride Kanuga main hub area. At the entrance and exit. So that's where packet pickup will be. Gravel grinder folks, we'll talk about parking in a second, but if you want to just get your ride numbers and then do the race, and then after the race get your shirt and goodie bag, you can do that so you don't have to go back to your car. Any of the events can do that, but that's an option if you just are like, hey, I just want to get my number now, start go do your thing and then come back and get your stuff at the end. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
So people can register on race weekend, right? If they decide Saturday afternoon that it's going to be beautiful outside on Sunday and they'd love
We
to
hope they
ride.
don't wait that long. That really throws a kinks in the race planners' plans. But yeah, if you are, just hear about the event, or you're a serial procrastinator or a weather watcher, then yes, you can sign up on Saturday. I don't know what shirts will be left, but hopefully there will be that you can get online. But come register before you come on Sunday. We'll leave registration open online because when you show up, it's just hectic at pack up, pick up, and registration. And there's really no need to like stand there and register on your phone. It's just a pain in the rear end. So we don't have paper forms for this. So if you're going to do it, just sign up.
Okay, great. And I know there's different race numbers and timing chips on things. So can you let people know what to do with their race numbers and bike plates and all of that so that it's in our system and they get timed the right way?
Yeah.
We don't like hearing people being upset about their race time or their number fell off or something.
Yes.
They don't have a time.
I know. Yeah. So the gravel grinder folks are going to have a bib that they can wear, a race number they can wear on the back of them that doesn't have a timing chip on it. The timing chip is going to be on their bike plate that will go on the front of their bike. So that is how they will get timed, and there'll be some either zip ties or Tyvek ties that they will use to attach that to their handlebars. And then the duathlon folks, their timing chip is going to be on their race number that they wear. So, preferably it's on the front of them because then we can see it. For the running portions, we won't see it on the bike necessarily, but if it's a pain for you and you feel like it's going to annoy you while you're riding your bike to have your number on your front, you can put it on your back and that's fine. We'll adjust. But while you're running, it would be on your front. So it's more visible for pictures and for us to see your number as you cross the finish line and the start line and stuff. But again, we're going to leave that up to you. Either way, you'll get a time if it's on your front or your back. And then trail runners will wear the number on their front. Duathlon people will also have a bike plate, but that does not have their timing chip on it. It just goes on the front of their bike.
Okay. Great.
So, yeah.
So be patient with us as we go through the details for each race, because like Daphne said, there's 5 of them.
Yes.
So there is a lot to going on for each race, and they're all a little different. So just be patient with us as we talk through each of them, listen for your information. Okay, so I know I can buy more than I can chew off of races. And so what if someone signed up for the gravel grinder race, either that morning they wake up and they're like, there's no way I can ride 42 miles today. I'm sore. Got allergies, whatever it is. If it's allergies. But is there a way to switch your race on race morning, or is there a deadline for that?
So people need to switch that out ahead of time before they actually start. So I would say if they get something in the mail from us and then they switch the race that they want to do before they actually race, they need to bring their bib, their number, to pack up, pick up, and switch that out before they start their race. If you're rolling along and you all of a sudden, are in the 42 and you want to drop down to the 25, you can do that. You just need to let us know when you finish, because unfortunately you'll have to be DQ'd. The way we have our timing system set up, it's going to show that you're a winner of the 25, essentially, if you come in or of the 42 if you come in early, because we have everybody broken up by race. So you can't really make that game day decision as you're riding your bike. I mean, you can, but you'll get disqualified. Your time won't count. And we need you to let us know that, because, you know, we want everybody to have an honest race and have fun and not worry about somebody not doing the race that they signed up for. So it's not a ride like, you know, we just put on the Tour de Apple where there is no timing. This does have timing component to it. And some people are racing it. Some people aren't. They're just there to have fun, which is totally fine. But, you know, you just can't switch midstream for something like that.
Okay. So if you're going to switch pre-race and then let us know. I did mention allergies, so let's go ahead and talk about the virus. What are the protocols for COVID? We know it's rampant right now. It seems to be picking up. So has anything changed from what it was at registration or anything like that for people?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know the mask up, stay socially distanced, like all of those things that the CDC is recommending, you know, get your vaccines. Don't come if you're sick. You can always switch your registration to a virtual race up until the race start time on Sunday. So if Sunday morning you wake up and you're like, oh man, I think I might have COVID, please don't come. Like, we know that it's important for you to race and we want you to be there. But just do it on your own time. You can submit your result online. You can get the swag mailed to you. Just send an email to support@iDaph.net and we can make a switch for you so that you can get well and protect our community. If you know, are at the start line, it will be a mass start for all the events. So I do suggest that everybody either has a buff, you know, a face covering around their neck and they just pull it up, or a mask and they slip it in their pocket after they start, because we will be in a closer proximity. But you can also spread out too, so that you're not standing right on top of somebody. There's plenty of room at the start area. Then, you know, we're outdoors. Fortunately, this is not an indoor event. And so, you know, just be aware. Our staff will have face coverings and masks on when we're close to people. And if you're close in proximity to people, then you also need to wear them as well. So that's the protocols we have right now. There's no event gathering restrictions in North Carolina at this moment. We don't anticipate that any will happen by next weekend. But in the event that they do, we would continue to have the event. We just might have to make changes with how we start the race or something like that, but hopefully that won't happen. So,
okay, cool. So yes, don't come if you're sick and stay away from people.
Yes.
Okay. So parking, where can people park?
Okay, so parking, let me just explain a little bit for people that haven't been to Ride Kanuga. Ride Kanuga has one way in and out of Ride Kanuga. So there's one road in, one way out. So at the very top of where you come into Ride Kanuga, where they have some trailers set up and they're building a shop up there right now. That's where registration is going to be at, and the food truck and all the vendors, and that'll be like the hub area. That's where also the start and finish are. So the parking situation is that the gravel grinder folks are going to need to park at Camp Kanuga. Camp Kanuga is about half a mile away from Ride Kanuga. And we'll have signs for that, and we'll have volunteers directing, but we'll post the map up and all that so you guys can see where it is. But that's where the gravel grinder folks need to go. There is a back trail that you can take through the Ride Kanuga side to get over to the Ride Kanuga main entrance. And we'll also post that up so that you don't have to ride on Kanuga Road to get over to the main entrance of Ride Kanuga. but it will be a little bit separate. The trail runners and the duathlon folks will park at Ride Kanuga, the main entrance and exit area. So where all the main activities are. The duathlon folks will park in a lower parking lot, and the trail runners will park in an upper lot, and we'll direct them when they come. So, and then spectators, if anybody's just coming to spectate, they'll need to park at Camp Kanuga. So with 5 races happening at one time and everybody finishing at different times, getting out of Ride Kanuga while the race is happening is the tricky part. So if you do park at Ride Kanuga, just be aware it might take you a little bit to get out. So just be flexible. Don't be in a rush. Just, be ready to stop and wait if somebody's finishing their race and you're trying to leave. Because it will be congested. It'll work. But it's just one of those things that you just need to be aware of.
And people are willing to stop for you as you're finishing your race. So just, be courteous to others, and they're finishing theirs, and waiting 2 minutes for them to run by is not going to be a big deal.
Yeah. And if you have a friend that's doing the race with you, meet up somewhere else and carpool in together. That's one less car coming in and out. Especially if you're one of the trail runners or duathletes, it's just save a car coming in and out of there. Also, Ride Kanuga wanted me to mention that there's no parking along Kanuga Road at all. So you can't park alongside the road by the conference center or anywhere just along that straight stretch. So don't try to do that. And
can someone just get dropped off if they're like, this parking stuff is intense, I'm just gonna get dropped off?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there's not really a way to do that because you're gonna have to get things and stuff like that. So so
plan on driving, just be patient in all the parking. What else is there to know about pre-race, race morning, all that?
The only other thing that I can think of about parking is, if somebody is in the same car and one person's doing the gravel grinder and one person's doing the duathlon or the trail run, then they'll want to park at Ride Kanuga instead of Camp Kanuga, because the duathlon people will need to be in that lower parking lot. So, it's just something to mention.
Okay. Sounds good. And so anything else? It looks like pre-race snacks, as far as like the race hub and stuff like that, we have the Taste Buds food truck coming. I know you have been in contact with them more, so tell me what they've got and what goodies we can expect.
So Echo Mountain Inn, which is in Laurel Park, has a new food truck and a coffee and juice, fresh pressed juices on there. And so they have been very gracious, and they're going to come out and attend the event. And so there will be coffee race morning, there will be juice, and then there's going to be food for after the race. So plan to stop by there, bring some cash with you. We want them to be a partner of ours for a long time, but they'll have to make sales to make it worthwhile for them to come. And so I'm really excited about trying their juice, and I'm glad that they're going to be out there for our participants. So bring some cash for those goodies.
Nice. Well, that'll be good. You can caffeine up before the race, recover with some juice and some food. And it'll be delicious. I actually saw on their Instagram juice that's blue. And
I know.
It's like, it looks so pretty. I might have to just get a bottle of it because the color is really good. But I
it's
think
pretty.
It's like, blueberry juice, and I think it has blue spoiler. I don't know how to say it, but I think it's Florina as the sweetener.
I do too. Yeah.
And it just looks really delicious. So people listening, go to their Instagram, look at the taste buds on Echo Mountain Inn,
Mhm.
and get prepared for some good food and juice.
Yes.
You might see me with a blue mouth.
Taking pictures.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to the race. What
Yeah.
are the courses like? Like I said, there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
But what are the courses like?
Yeah. Well, one more thing I just want to mention really quick before we move on about before the race is that Sycamore Cycles is going to be there on site to do bike checks ahead of time. So if you want them to run through your gearing and just make sure, tire pressure looks good and stuff like that, they'll be over by the start finish. So they'll be there. As far as the courses go, yeah, so there's a lot to know about them. We have, a duathlon, which is a run bike run, the trail run, which is 5 miles, and then which is 2 loops of the 2.5 mile course, and then the 13 mile, 25 mile, and 42 mile gravel grinder bike events. And as we go down through here, I'll talk more specifically about each of them. But I think the important thing is to know what makes this event so cool is that it's all happening at one time. But it's all also having 5 events happening at one time. So usually if you go to an event, there's just running happening or there's just biking happening. Well, this has it all. So, just you have to pay attention for this one. You have to look at signs. You need to know your routes. Everything will be really marked well, but you have to pay attention to it. So I think that's the key.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Pay attention to all of it. And we mentioned this earlier, but the courses will not be closed to traffic.
Correct.
Okay. So, let's talk about the courses a little bit, break them down. Reed at Fit by Reed helped a ton on this. So
yes, Reed is a lifesaver. He knows the ins and outs of all the gravel roads in the area. He's a Carmichael Training Systems coach, and he has his own business called Fit by Reed. And he's amazing at bike fit. So if you're looking for somebody to help with that, highly recommend him. Actually, you know what? Hold on a minute, because I have a message from him. All right, we're back. So gravel bike cyclists, I would recommend that you download the Ride with GPS files onto your Garmin or whatever device that you use to keep track of your mileage and time and stuff like that. That's going to help you know where you're at and to be able to navigate. We will have, like I said, signs and markings on the road. But sometimes those signs disappear by those pesky people that like to play games out on the course. And some of these sections are remote. So it's just something to keep in mind that, we will put the signs up, we'll check them on race morning, but sometimes they get turned around or people take them. And so we will do our best on all of that, but definitely try to have that downloaded, and then know that 3 different distances are happening as you're on your bike. So don't just follow the person in front of you and think that they're doing the same route as you.
There's the worst decision you can make is to do that.
There's a course split where the 13 and 25 mile branch off from the 42 mile over at Camp Tonawanda in that area. So you have to pay attention to, where you're going to turn and all of that. You don't want to be following a 42 mile person and realize you're on a killer climb past Camp Tonawanda and you're like, wait a minute, I think I'm on the wrong route.
Daphne didn't include a hill on the 13 mile.
Yeah, that's a whole different world, that 42 mile, than the other one. So so pay attention. We'll have this in the event guide as well, but just so you know, the 42 mile is going to follow the pink markings that are on the road. The 25 mile will follow the yellow markings. The 13 mile will follow orange, and the 13 mile is also the duathlon bike too.
Okay.
And then the running course probably won't have a ton of paint or markings out there, but if we do mark some areas, it'll be marked in green.
Okay.
With route arrow stickers.
You're doing a duathlon, do orange and green, and
Yep.
the others are your pink and yellow. For the 42 and 25.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. And so, the 13 mile route is going to be a great introduction for road cyclists into just the gravel world of events, because there's not that much gravel on it, but you have a few short sections, and there's about 1,000 foot of elevation gain, but it's not too extreme for it. So on all of our information on our webpage and stuff, and I don't know, is it on the event guide too, Allison? The descriptions of the routes, or is it just on the Ride with GPS? I can't remember.
Just check the website and the Ride with GPS. The event guide will have the links to both of those places. And just to cut down on the amount that people are reading, I didn't include the entire course description in the event guide.
Okay.
But
yeah,
the links are all there.
Reed suggested for the 13 mile and the 25 mile folks to have a minimum of a 28 millimeter gator skin type tire on your road bike. If you have a road bike, you could potentially use it. If you have a gravel bike or a mountain bike, that's great too. But if you are just trying to, dip your feet into the gravel world, dirt events, that sort of thing, you can use a road bike, but he thinks you need to have at least a 28 millimeter gator skin for both the 25 and 13. And then for the 42 mile, that's a little bit gnarlier. About half of the route is pavement and half is gravel and dirt. And so he suggests having a gravel bike or a cyclocross type of bike with 35 to 42 millimeter knobby tires and a wide range of gears, or a mountain bike. Just know that there are a couple significant climbs on the event. And I know mountain bikes up some climbs with the gearing can be a little bit rough. So just keep that in mind. But all the descriptions are on Race Roster and the website too. So
yeah. All right. So this is kind of changing the topic a little bit, but we love to run with music, both of us. But this event, you've got to leave your headphones at home. Just don't bring them. Don't tempt yourself, because it is, number one, there's traffic. So, riding a bike with headphones is very dangerous. And so let's not even entertain that idea. And you won't be able to hear the other participants. You need to hear the people in front of you. So just enjoy the event. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's a beautiful week here in Western North Carolina. So just listen to the birds and the things around you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So leave those headphones at home. Just Yep.
Are there restrooms at the race hub? We didn't talk about that for pre-race.
Yeah, there are some by the start finish line. We'll have some at the transition area. Not sure that we'll have any at the parking lot at Camp Kanuga for the gravel grinder folks, but you can come over and use them at the start line. And then we'll also have it at our one rest stop that's on the 42 mile course.
Okay, that's good. I would have to go to the bathroom if I was riding 42 miles into the middle of nowhere. So water stations and rest stops, as we just talked about that.
Yeah.
What are they for the trail? All the things.
Yeah. So the running courses, the trail run and the duathlon run has a water station over by the transition zone. So there's one of those. And then on the 42-mile gravel grinder, there is one that's around the Camp Green Cove area by Lake Summit, and it can be found on the 42-mile map. And that will be utilized a couple times at the beginning, like around mile 13, and then at 25. And so this is where you can just stop and, refill your water bottle, get a couple snacks. Green Moose Fuel will be there giving out their moose fuels at the rest stop. And I need to reach out to them to get some for the running water station as well, so that runners don't miss out on them because they're so good. But yeah, so we'll have a station for each of those. On the 13-mile and 25-mile gravel grinders, we will not have a rest stop. However, the 13-mile, you shouldn't need a rest stop. You should be able to just put that water bottle or bottles on your bike and carry with you what you need. And if you're doing the duathlon, you can put your snacks in transition if you want to and have them there when you get done. The 25-mile, if you park at Camp Kanuga, you could veer off course when you come back by Camp Kanuga before you go out to finish your loop, your 12-mile loop. And you could go to your car if you wanted to and, fill up your bottle or something like that. But I mean, I really don't know that folks are going to need it for the 13 or 25-mile. And so we didn't add it. We figured people could carry their own.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I know, unfortunately, you're out on the open road. People are biking. They can easily get hopefully not easily, because they've listened to Reed's advice of what kind of tires they need and things. But but mechanical problems happen. Do they have to make it to a rest stop to get help? How do they get help?
Yeah. So first of all, I highly recommend that people are self-sufficient and bring their own things to take care of their own flat tires. So, carry that stuff with you. Some of these areas are remote that you're going to be at, and it might take a while for somebody to get to you. So, just have your own things. Take your phone with you. We'll put the SAG number out on the Ride with GPS maps once we have that. And so, just program that in your phone so you have it. But essentially, Sycamore Cycles will be out on the course. Daily Cycle Mobile Bicycle Repair is joining us. And so they'll be out on the course. We'll have SAG vehicles by Hunter Subaru. And then also, when you get to a rest stop, if you're having some issues, you can tell them there and we can get some help for you. But if you do see any emergencies, somebody, gets injured or something like that, call 911 if it's an emergency. You don't need to try to call the SAG vehicle. Just call 911. And, that's going to be the quickest way if there's an actual emergency.
Yes. Call 911 first. We would love to eventually know that you're not out on the course, but if there's an emergency, we're not the emergency people. The 911 is.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Good to know. And the SAG number will be on the event guide as well that you'll get in the email. So, just put that in your phone. Okay, let's talk about the duathlon. It's a multi-sport event. It's a little bit more involved than the others. You mentioned you run, bike, run. So how does all of that work? They have their own parking area and transition area at their cars, which is a great transition zone. It works out so well. If you forget something, you don't have to go back to your car. You're at your car. So, you can unlock it and get what you need. So, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I know that for our triathlons over the last couple years since COVID started and we've been doing them, we've switched to doing these at these transition zones at our cars. And so, it's really cool because you can set your bike up before, like, on your bike rack or beside your car or the front of your car. And if you have multiple people in your car, you can just set it up on both sides, but it's just easy for you to grab your stuff, like Allison said, and just have it all right there in one spot, instead of trying to lug everything out of your car, go to the transition zone, set everything up. So we'll have it all marked off for you. And so you'll know where the entrance and exit is when you get there of the transition. But essentially you will start your run. It's a run bike run. So you start your run up at the start line with everybody else. You'll go do the run part. You'll go into transition. After you're done with the run, you'll grab your bike. You'll head out the front of Ride Kanuga, go do the bike. You'll come, instead of going to the finish line for the bike, you'll skip that and you'll come back down to transition. Once you come into transition, there'll be a mount and a dismount line. And that's where you need to get off your bike. Instead of riding your bike through the transition area, you need to hop off of that bike, push it through the transition. Oh, actually, you'll be at your car. So you'll just, go to your car, skip that. Yeah, skip that, go to your car, and you'll just take your bike there. And then we'll have timing mats down there too. So it's going to stop and start your time basically once you're in transition. But just know that your time is still rolling while you're in transition. So if you decide to take a cat nap, that does affect your overall time. Your time doesn't stop when you're in transition. So
yeah, but we want to have the right splits for you to tell you what each thing was. It is just still timed.
Yes, exactly. So there will be an entrance point and an exit point for each of the run, bike, run. And so you'll just need to familiarize yourself with that when you park. And then after your bike, you'll take it to the car, and then you'll look for the way to get to the trail to do the second run. We'll start in the back grass area where the parking is at. You'll go do the run, and then you'll finish back up where the start finish area is at the top of Ride Kanuga. So it's the same route for the second run. It's just you're starting it at transition instead of up at the start finish line. That makes sense. And so so that's you just need to wear your timing chip the entire time, so that's why we say put it on your shirt, not your bike, for this one. And what else? I think that's it.
Yeah, then you just cross the finish line when you're done.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Okay, so let's see. Anything we need to know about the run map?
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing for the 5-mile trail run, folks, is that you're going to be doing 2 laps of the course. So you'll need to pay attention and follow the signs when you come back into the Ride Kanuga area after you've done your second lap, because at the back of transition is where you'll go and you'll start that second lap. So just pay attention to signs that are there. We have the maps on Ride with GPS, but because it's all single track trail, it looks like a line in the woods basically when you look at the map. It's not, there's no roads, so it's not like you can go out and run it ahead of time. It'll be a surprise for everybody. I love the bike or the run course through the trail. I've run it several times and it just flows really well, and it's really cool single track trails. And it's a great trail run. I think it's I would say 85%, 90% all dirt and off-road and trail, and maybe 10% of just, doing a little
getting back and forth.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Everyone loves a good trail run. Okay. So we've gotten everybody across the finish line, through their rest stops, everything like that. And so what is happening after the race? The post-race parties are always my favorite things to have people. It's hard because we said stay away from people, but also we want you to hang out a little bit and celebrate. and celebrate your
Yeah.
accomplishment.
Yeah. And when you're close to people, you can put your mask on, but we're
Yeah.
fortunately outdoors. So, we'll have the Taste Buds food truck. I'm working on getting a bluegrassy type band there. So
Cool.
hopefully they'll be able to come through. It's been tricky. A lot of bands have disbanded, if that's the word, since COVID. So it's been a
Oh, that's
little
a
tough.
bummer.
But hopefully they'll be able to come, and then PT Solutions will be there doing injury screenings,
Okay.
yoga and massage. Hello, we'll be there to do massages. Definitely bring some
Yes.
cash to give them a donation for coming out. They're awesome. And then First Bank will be out there as well. There might be some other vendors that show up too. So
Cool.
that'll be fun. And yeah, we just want to hang out. You can bring your own beer. It's not we don't have a liquor license for this event, but you're more than welcome to stash some beers in your car and bring it up to the start finish area at the end and get some food. So feel free to do that. Yeah.
That'll be awesome and so much fun. Yeah, bring your own beer. Are there picnic tables? Are we gonna have like tables
not,
for
but
people to hang out at?
we're working on getting a few tables, but if somebody
Okay.
wants to stash a little chair in their car or something and bring it up there with their
Yeah.
beer, then feel free to do that too.
Cool. Okay. So about awards and prizes. Will there be an award ceremony at the post-race finish?
Yeah. So, barring the internet the service that we have, it's a little spotty out there. I'm going to be honest. We will post results live as much as we can throughout the day. And we'll post those at iDaph.net. They'll be on race roster where you registered under the results tab. And we'll do award ceremonies. They'll be sort of informal, but we'll still do them after each race when most of the participants have come back in for that race. So, we'll just keep checking that. So we don't have an exact time for each of them. It'll just really depend on when people get done for those particular events. But we do have prizes from Ride Kanuga. We have some free day passes, some fenders. We have some gift cards from Sycamore Cycles, Fleet Feet gift cards. We have campfire ceramic mugs that are awesome, and some other mugs. So we have lots of cool prizes. If you can't stick around, if you got to leave, then you can either pick them up the following week at either Sycamore Cycles in Hendersonville or at Fleet Feet in Asheville, or you can pay to have those shipped to you.
Okay. Awesome. And so just if you think that you've placed, hang out for a little while and get some food, and then we will have a bit of an award ceremony.
Yeah.
As people finish.
Yep.
Okay, so we do have an important interactive event guide that people can look at for course maps, cue sheets, all this information. If you're like, what did they say? You don't have to rewind to find it. We're sending out an event guide with most of this information on it. But I think the main thing you need to know is to just be aware and pay attention to everything going on around you, to the courses, to the other participants, all of that. Do you have anything to add, Daphne?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered pretty much everything possible. It's a new venue. It's going to be a great day and a great venue to have this event. But just, come with a relaxed attitude and just a chilled vibe, because that's the vibe we're going to have. And so
we're going to be relaxed.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing about like trail and off-road races. It's just a different type of vibe,
Yeah.
And so plan to spend some time with us and have fun. And, we'll have a photographer too, or several photographers out there taking pictures. We can't promise that we'll get everybody's photos, unfortunately, with everything happening. So, take your own pictures and tag us on Instagram at iDaph events or hashtag AORS, and we can reshare those and repost them. But yeah, I think we covered about everything.
Yeah, I think we covered it all. I think, yeah, that was it. So thanks for joining us for today's podcast, and we are looking forward to seeing you next Sunday, September 19th at the Asheville Off-Road Series at Ride Kanuga.
Thank you. Bye.